and those are certainly the minimum goals. We want to run a program with high expectations, and those high expectations extend beyond the football field. We want to play at a high level. We want to play a style of football that fans enjoy watching. That we play hard and we play tough, and people leave the game saying that, boy, those guys really represented not only Bowling Green University well, but the entire Bowling Green community well on the field today. We also want that to extend to the classroom. We want players that go to class, that graduate with degrees, and represent themselves in the classroom, and the other students at Bowling Green can identify with them, that they're not football players that are above everybody else, but they're one of them in the classroom, and they're one of each other as teammates on the field. And we want to develop a total program that there is a sense of pride among everybody associated with Bowling Green, the administrators, the faculty, the students, and the Bowling Green community, that we put a product on the field that everybody's proud of, not just the way we play, but the way we represent ourselves in everything that we do. And I believe Bowling Green is a place that can be done successfully, and I really look forward to starting that challenge. Well, I think everything you go through, you learn from. And certainly my first year as a head coach at Fordham, that certainly wasn't a smashing success. My first year as a head coach, I was a 31-year-old head coach. I inherited a program that had 12 straight losing seasons, and in all honesty, the first year I probably made it worse. And I learned a lot going through that year, and from those experiences we were able to build a program in years 3, 4, and 5 that won more games than they won in the last 70, 80 years of their program. So I think from every experience you learn from it and you grow from it. We ask our players to do that in life. We ask them to do that on the field and in the classroom. And I don't think that learning process ever stops. And there's certainly a lot of things that I've learned in the last year. It was just, that's football. It's the highs of the highs and the lows of the lows. And probably a year ago, I was experiencing one of the greatest highs I ever had in the profession. When we took a Richmond team that was picked to finish 4th or 5th in their division of the conference, and we were a game away playing for the national championship. And then you fast forward it 8 months later, and we certainly endured a challenging season at Tennessee. But I was exposed to a lot of great things there. I worked for a great man in Coach Fulmer. I have tremendous respect for Coach Fulmer. He's a truly good person that cared about the kids in a genuine way and cared about the staff, and even through struggles was a stand-up man, and I learned a great deal from him. I learned how to administer a BCS in a Division 1A program. I certainly think the experiences I had at Tennessee from managing a 1A program are only going to benefit us here at Bowling Green. Is that a long-winded answer to a short question? Okay.
Now that you've had 20 minutes to enjoy this, what's next for you in terms of recruiting and hiring staff? What's kind of your timetable? Well,
again, I'm fortunate that I've been a head coach for 9 years, and I've been through this process twice before. And there's a ton of things that we need to do, but there's a priority to doing them. And the first thing that we have to do is take care of business this weekend recruiting. That securing this recruiting class and making sure that every player committed to Bowling Green, that we're going to honor that commitment and we're going to do great things here and win championships. We got to make that message clear to them. So we have 1 week to go out and hit the recruiting trail hard and try to put together a strong recruiting class. And then after that, it's the process of putting together a staff. Putting together a staff and the decisions that we'll make in the next 2 to 3 weeks to month. It goes by quick, but there is nothing more important you do than selecting the staff. The decisions that we make in the next month here of who's going to coach these young men and who's going to recruit the different areas are going to have more bearing on our long-term success than any other decision that we make. I think after that, the next piece is really getting to work with the current players. Transition is hard, and the reality is that with the current players on this team, I wasn't the one in their house. I wasn't the one that sat with their parents. And I've asked them to do something that's hard to do. They're blind trust. They don't that once we got it going, we maintained a high level of play, and that's the goal here, is to win early and to win consistently and not suffer dips in the program. And having said that, and having done this for 20 years, I know that is easier said than done. That's a challenge running a college football program.
You turned around two programs. Do you feel that this is a program that needs turned around, or one that's pretty close to being a championship caliber team?
I mean, one of the reasons that this opportunity was so exciting to me is I've been through that and done that before, and I don't think that's the case at Bowling Green. You don't want to promise more than you can deliver on, but certainly our expectations here with the players that we have in the program and the success that they've had here in recent years is that this is not a program that needs to be gutted and started from scratch. We need players to buy into what we're going to do, and our goal is to win right away. You want to win as fast as you can, but at the same time, we can't take shortcuts to get there. If you really want to build something that's going to be sustained and last a long time, you need to do things right. And I think one of the great challenges of being a head coach is sometimes you have to make decisions that may hurt you in the short term, but provide a long-term benefit for your program. And if that needs to be done, we'll do it, but I really hope that's not the case. That I believe that we have a bunch of guys that are going to buy in, and we're going to all be rowing the boat in the same direction, and the goal is to win as soon as we can.
When you get to the X's and O's part, what are the philosophies you like the most?
Well, one of the things offensively I really believe in is I don't like to be married to a system. I've never considered myself a system coach. I think one of the great things you learn coaching at the 1AA level, or what was it called now, the FCS level, I'm 5 years into it, I still can't get that straight, is that you have to build, your system has to be flexible enough to take advantage of your talents. One of the players asked me, are we going to run the spread? And I said, if 4 of our best 5 skilled players are wide receivers, then we're going to be in 4 receiver sets. But I think at this level of football, that you've got to be able to recruit the best players you can, and your system better have the flexibility to make them fit. And if that means that you're a 2-back team, you're a 2-back team. If that means you're a 4-receiver team, you're a 4-receiver team. But if you look at my history, I've coached offenses that have thrown the ball for over 4,000 yards, and I've coached offenses that have run the ball for close to 3,000 yards. And I think that's a matter of evaluating your personnel and making sure you put the right guys in the right place. The goal is to get the ball to playmakers in space. And I'm a firm believer that players and not plays win football games. And it's our job as coaches to put our best players in the best positions.
How strong do you feel your recruiting ties are to Ohio? You said that you recruited Cincinnati when you were back.
Cincinnati was my primary area at Tennessee. I've worked at a lot of schools that we nationally recruited, and fortunately, Cleveland and Youngstown, a lot of times that was the area that I have. When I was at Fordham University, Ohio was a main recruiting, a very fertile recruiting ground for us, just because of the strength of the Catholic programs in the state. That we made it a priority to always hit Cleveland, to hit Youngstown, to hit Cincinnati, because of how strong the Catholic leagues are in the state of Ohio. Now, Greg asked me when I interviewed, who are you going to hire as a staff? And I think it's very important as a head coach is that you don't hire a bunch of guys that are cookie cutter images of you. You do that for a lot of different reasons. That there's certainly players on the team that are going to identify with my personality and the way that I do things, but not everybody is. And I got to make sure that I surround myself with assistant coaches, that every player on the team feels there's someone on the staff that they can identify with. That also goes from a recruiting standpoint. That I need to surround myself with coaches that have experience recruiting areas in Ohio and in the Midwest that are going to be critical for us. And this is no different than the challenge I had when I took the head job at Richmond, is I did not have any background recruiting Virginia. And 3 of my first hires were guys that had extensive backgrounds recruiting the state of Virginia, and we were able to recruit good players out of Virginia because of their credibility with the high school coaches. And it's certainly a goal of mine that I can get the same type of staff hired here.
Coach, do you have anybody in particular in your mind right now that you, maybe from your past experiences, that you kind of want to bring with you to this university, or are you going to just try and hire your coaching staff, completely just based on this new challenge?
Yes.
Anything else?
All right, thank you very much.